We have all done it, caught ourselves doing the same thing we said we'd never do again, reacting the same way, choosing the same kind of person, burning out the same way we did last year, just in a different job.
Mhm.
And then we ask ourselves the question nobody can answer in the moment: why do I keep acting this way? Welcome back to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host Yusuf, and today we are going somewhere most conversations don't go. Not into what you should do differently, but into why you keep doing the same thing in the first place. My guest today is Karen Rubinstein, a radical resilience expert, author of The Return Way, and creator of the 6 step framework that help people across recovery, communities, universities, and corporate teams finally see the pattern underneath their reactions. And by the end of this episode, you'll have a clearer way of looking at your own behavior and a map for what to do with what you find. With that, I welcome my guest Karen to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me, Yusuf. So happy to be here. And yes, at the end of this time, everyone listening is going to know a little bit more on why they're doing something and the tools on like how to change that. So yeah, no, I'm really happy to be here.
Perfect. So, Karen, I want to start somewhere a little quieter. There's a moment in everyone's life where this kind of work becomes personal, stops being theory, and starts becoming something you actually need. So, what was that moment for you? When did you stop the patterns from the outside and realize you were you have to go inside now?
That is such an excellent question because I call myself, I'll let you know, let everyone know, because I'm very proud of my recovery. I am an alcoholic in recovery for several years now. My recovery date is this May for 6 years. So for me, I call myself a grateful alcoholic. Grateful not because I have the disease of alcoholism, grateful because I was forced to change because I had to. It was either that or I don't know what would have happened, but I was going down a very bad, dark path, unhealthy in so many ways. So what happened was several years I hit a rock bottom, and my doctor suggested I go to rehab, and I was there for a few months. So in rehab, it's not about, and in a 12-step recovery method, it's not about just putting down a bottle because these are symptoms of something underlying. Like, I had to figure out why did I ever pick up to begin with? What was going on that I needed to numb or check out? So I had to go really deep to go and find the underlying wounds that I was covering. So that's a short story on that one, but, so what happened was I diligently worked the program, I got a sponsor, went through the steps, and I have a 3-inch binder of inner work that I did to uncover patterns throughout my life and where it all started. If I can, I just wrote a Substack about this, and it's the perfect metaphor. I compare it actually analogy. I compare, what I've discovered to a dandelion. So you have a dandelion weed, and we feel like we're working on ourselves and pulling out that weed like, oh, it's okay. Now I can move past. But if anyone knows gardening, those weeds, those dandelions can have a very deep root. So we feel, oh, we popped out the first 4 inches, but we don't know we left a root behind. So what I'm saying is, even though I understand what I'm thinking in my frontal lobe, I don't know the deep roots that are stuck in the back of my subconscious. It's until you go all the way down. And I'll take the metaphor a little further. The seeds of the dandelion, you have one plant, many seeds landing in different places. So even though we think we have different problems, they all come from the same plant. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Yeah. So
Yep.
I just
It-
yeah. So this is all self-discovery combined with real science. If you go on my website, and go to the page on the return way, the methodology I created and wrote about, you can see the science behind it from Carl Jung and others. I'll stop there. If I could go on about the return method, what would you like on?
So, I want to talk about the return way. Like you have reveal, explore, trace, uncover, rewrite, nurture. These six steps. So, for someone who is listening them right now, I want you to first explain them in the simplest of languages, and then we can move ahead.
Absolutely. And the reason why, so what happened was in my recovery a couple of years ago, my husband came down, he went from stage 1 to stage 4 melanoma. He's okay now, it's been resolved, but during that time, I we were both going through a lot. So what happened was I was very calm. I approached it well. I was getting through and people looked at me and they said, "How are you doing this? How are you so calm, at peace, accepting, grateful?" And I thought and they kept asking me. People were like, "I want what you have." So I sat down and I wrote it and the I wrote the methods, like, I really went through it, how did this work? And then I tried to think of an acronym that would be easy. So return, the return way, it's a return back to our true selves. It's uncovering all the layers or, going deep down into the root. Return. It's reveal the
Mm.
story, R. Reveal what is happening. Pull back from a situation. I know that if I get agitated, I can look to my emotions and realize these are flags. These are signals that something is disturbed within me. Notice me. It is not other people. I cannot be affected by other people and things. We think we can, but what's happening is there's an old wound. So I will stop and realize what is it I'm feeling? Anger. Reveal the story. What is happening? And I'm going to go through the letters real quick and then I'll give an example. So explore the thoughts. Thoughts trace the patterns. Where have I been? And where have I felt this before? This feels familiar. Uncover the fear because underneath everything that is a disturbance within us is a fear. Now we've done that. Now we're getting a clearer picture that it's not the situation. We're saying, oh, this is an old story. So what can I do now? I can rewrite the story. Let's give it a different approach. Now I am more at peace. I can approach this situation from my heart, not from my anger or from my fear. So now I nurture this new truth and I behave differently. So we have gone from a reaction that we could have had to a controlled response. And it can be very quick. I will give an example. This happened. I always use this example because it's pretty clear. This happened several months ago, maybe a year ago with my husband. I had something I really wanted to talk to him about. And it was hard, like, it was important to me. And after talking for a couple of minutes, I realized he was not paying attention at all. And he even had the phone out, he was totally distracted. And I felt it. I felt anger. Like I knew something was off. So I stopped. Now I know to stop, as I said. So reveal the story. So it's able to pull back, almost like a reporter at a scene, like a crime scene or something. You're a reporter, you can remove. So I look at it and I say, my husband is not paying attention to me. And when I'm speaking, that's the story. Now
Mm.
I'm exploring the thoughts. And if I stop and think about it, because the thoughts are quick, but if I try to reel it back in, I'll be like, okay, he should listen to me. There's the shoulds. Never should on yourself. He should listen to me. I'm not important. He doesn't care. all these things. Can you see the how a thought will be just because of that? So I have these thoughts and I'm like, oh, okay. So explore the thoughts, trace the pattern. I have felt this before. And you don't have to, you can just, whatever situation pops up, trace the pattern. Immediately I can go, oh, when I was growing up, I came from a large family. I was the youngest. No one ever paid attention to me. I didn't feel important. Oh, okay. Now it's dawning on me. Okay, this is an old story. Uncover the fear. The fear is I feel emotionally abandoned. I feel I have a fear of not mattering, that I know that I am valueless. That now I can breathe. Now, okay. Now I go in to rewrite the story. Okay, now let's and it's not just positive thinking, like, let's slap a note on it, but let's breathe into this situation and give it more of a reality on another level. Okay, my husband came home from work. He's exhausted. My husband is my best friend and always supportive of me. I do matter. I do have value. Okay, now my chest is open. I'm breathing, I'm calm, and now let's nurture that truth. And I speak softly and through love, and I say, "Hey, hon, I really have something. Can I have your attention for a moment? I do have something I'd like to talk to you about. Are you too tired to take it in right now?" Um, and I remember when this happened, and people can hear when you're out speaking from love. I think it's a different level. And
Yeah.
he listened and he said, I am so sorry." He goes, "I'm concerned about one of my employees. Something happened at work today. I wasn't paying attention. Can I clear this up? I just need to send a text really quickly."
Mhm.
And then we move this method. We've been married now over 30 years. This has brought us closer because I can honestly say that in the past, if I might have addressed it with, "He's not paying attention." I would have just gone from the feeling and feeling a righteous, very righteous, that I have a right to my anger. How dare he not listen to me? And the old me might have stepped in and go, well, I don't know what I would have said, but I would not have been happy. And maybe, maybe held a grudge. Um, but now so this brings about a connection with people rather than a distance. Because at our base level and what we uncover when we go deep is that we're all born with love. We are just basically love.
Yeah.
When we can reach our truth and approach life that way, my life is so much easier now. So that is the return way.
Uh, what I am hearing is that this is not a fast process, and it is not supposed to be one. I think it's a real return all the way down and back, which brings me to the part of change nobody likes talking about. So, what happens when it stops working, or when it feels like it feels like it stops working?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, because uh, I was stuck for about 2.5 weeks, and I'm so glad we're talking today because I just had insight yesterday. I was going into, and I'll say a borderline depression. I felt blue. I felt blah for 2.5 weeks. Now, I just launched the book, and I'm going to hold it up. Here it is. Anyway, I just launched the book 2.5 weeks ago. I couldn't
Yeah.
understand. I couldn't understand. I had to really go deep. And when I did the return method, finally, I did it multiple times, but I wasn't going down into a level. I mean, there's certain different levels that you could go down. I had to go down to a very deep core wound. So sometimes this is going to come quickly. And the more you do it and the more you uncover, people wonder, oh, I must have 100 fears. No, no, actually. our brain has a little file cabinet of only about several, and it will pull whatever feels familiar. It will pull that file like, "Oh, this is the same situation," if that makes sense. So I had to
Yeah.
go further back into my file cabinet and realize this was such a deep wound of trauma. Is it for the return way, if you're going to do it all the time, if something is disturbing, I would recommend talking with a trusted friend, a trusted spiritual guide, a therapist on a more of a level when you get comfortable, or for just like easy ones. This one, I'm comfortable enough about with myself. I was actually thinking of asking a therapist if it went further. But today I have such a lightness, and today I revealed a very core issue, and I brought it into light. And once you see things, and this is something that I'm gonna have to keep working on, but I bring it into light, and it has given me peace, and I realize it's still unresolved, but maybe a lot less unresolved. Now I have more truth. The more I know of myself, and Aristotle, all the great philosophers always said the best thing that we could ever do is know ourselves. That's where the peace comes from understanding how our mind works. So now today I have peace. So yeah, are there times I get stuck? Absolutely. But for the most part, like the more and more I do this and have an understanding, I'm easy. Oh, I can actually go right into the file myself and be like, oh, it's that one. Okay, I get it. So yeah.
Mhm. Oh. Karen, for people who want to connect with you, who want to read your interesting Substack, where can we do that?
Oh, yeah, the Substack. So I write it, let me see, my Substack is, Karen Rubinstein Out Loud. Actually, my social handles are at Karen Rubinstein Out Loud, and it's Rubinstein, because I live my recovery out loud and I live my life out loud so I can help others. So that is that. And they could buy and they, can buy my book at Amazon.com, uh, /author/Karen Rubinstein, and it's The Return Way. Finally, an answer to why do I act this way and a way to change.
Perfect. And to everyone listening, all these links are in the show notes, so just go and check those out. Karen, is there any last message that you want to leave us with?
No, but this was so enjoyable. I guess the last message is that, for years I really felt like I suffered. I had a chronic depression from the time I was 17 till about 5 years ago after working on myself. Chronic depression, antidepressants, sleeping pills. I was in a lot of pain. And the reason why I do this work is because now I realize I didn't have to be. And I just really am spreading the word on how to turn things around. So nobody, I have a little slogan. I've been to hell and back so many times. I could have been a tour guide.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been there. I don't want you to go. Let me be your tour guide, leading you out of there or away from it. And that is what I want to leave with.
Now, Karen, this has been a really grounding conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I feel very blessed. Thank you. So very lovely meeting you. Thank you.
And to everyone listening, if something in this conversation made you pause tonight, I would request you not to scroll past that pause, because that is usually where the work starts. You don't have to figure it all out before bed. Just be honest about what came up. And that is enough for tonight. This was Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I am Yusuf. I thank my guest Karen for showing, and I thank you all for listening. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one.